Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery, outside today to talk to you about a brand new flagship hunting bow for 2023. This is the Elite Omnia. Brand new bow from the folks at Elite. And what I will tell you straight up front is this is the fastest Elite bow that I've ever shot. Lots of technology built into this bow that we're gonna tell you about. First, let's give you the specs for the Elite Omnia. The Elite Omnia measures 32 inches axle to axle. It's got an IBO speed rating of 347 feet per second. Brace height is 6 inches. The draw length is going to be adjustable on a rotating mod from 24.5 up to 30 inches. Your let-off is going to be adjustable from 70 to 90%. The bow has a mass weight of 4.5 pounds. And it's going to be available in peak draw weights of 40, 50, 60, 65, and 70 pounds. All right, so the Elite Omnia, first thing you're going to notice is this big cam right here. Elite is calling this the SP cam. Lots of adjustability built into this cam. Besides it being the powerhouse for this bow to generate those great speeds, what Elite has kind of been known for the last couple years is adjustability. That you can get one of their bows, you can make such fine adjustments to it to get it to fit you and to get it to shoot the way you want it to. Well, they've done that with the SP cam. We are looking at a tri-track cam system here. You know, you got a cable on one side, cable on the other side, string down the middle. That's a system Elite has been using the last couple years. What you're going to notice in here is the all-new Elite V2 micro mod system here. So this is your module that you're going to use for changing the draw length. Now, usually when you have a rotating mod, you're adjusting, each one of the adjustments is usually by a 1/2 inch. So on this bow, there's 2 sets of holes basically. Every one of your numbers, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up through the adjustments. Right now I have it on the number 1, and that is 30 inches. That's my draw length there. So number 2 would be 29.5. But if I rotated the mod so I'm in between 1 and 2, another hole will appear. That allows me to adjust it by a 1/4 inch. So 1/4 inch adjustments you can make in the draw length. Now, why is that important? Josh Sidebottom, Elite's main engineer, he had told us that when engineers design these bows, they design them to perform at the peak of performance with the cables at the length that they're at. So when they come to you from the factory, everything is set for peak performance. And when we're adjusting draw length, you know, a lot of times a 1/2 inch is too much or not enough. So you're going to go in between there. And how you get to that is by twisting cables. When you twist cables, you know, you put twists in, you're going to lengthen the draw length. So you can go by a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 inch, even less than that. But once you start doing that, you're changing the specs of the bow, and now you're changing the performance. So Elite doesn't want you to have to do that. So they give you those 1/4 inch adjustments. And believe me, that's a huge help to be able to have that micro tune. Now, something else that they have on the V2 micro mod is this brand new let-off adjustment system. So the let-off adjustment for the Elite Omnia is from 70% all the way up to 90%. And you can really fine tune that. Usually the way that you adjust let-off in a bow is there'll be 3 screw positions on the mod. And those positions, you're bound by those positions. It'll be like 90, 85, 80%. Those are the only let-offs you get. So Elite came up with this unique system here. It's basically like a gear. And you just loosen this screw right here, and then you can see that gold wheel in there that I call a gear. That's what it looks like. If I put my Allen key in there and turn it, that gear is spinning and I am moving this draw stop forward and back. That's how you're affecting the let-off. And what I can tell you is there are 7 vertical lines in here. You can adjust this by any amount you want, you know, a slight turn, a full turn. it doesn't matter. You know, it's infinite adjustment within the range. And there are 7 demarcation lines. Again, the adjustment range is from 70% to 90%, and you've got 7 positive reference points to adjust that let off within there. So again, just the ability to get that let off, dial it in exactly how you want it. If you're feeling something at the back wall, you're like, man, I just wish I could tweak that let off a little bit to get a little more, you know, a little more oomph to it, or a little deeper. You want a little more let off. You can just loosen that screw and adjust that wheel, you know, by Elite says by 1% increments, if that's what you want. So again, another great system they've got set there. So another adjustment you'll see is you'll notice right here, this is your let off adjustment. Under here, you've got a series of holes. So right now, the way I have this set up, this is my draw stop. So I have it set up to come around and it impacts the cable. That's gonna give you a little bit of give at the back wall. It's still pretty solid, but if you want it to be absolutely solid, hit a brick wall, they've got this limb pad right here. So you would put in a draw stop, a limb stop, in one of these holes. And when the cam rotates around, that stop is going to impact that limb pad. Now you've got the equivalent of a limb stop. Cannot move it, so you can again adjust that draw stop the way you want it to feel. Now moving down, something Elite started with last year with the Envision, they carried it over to the Omnia, is this wider limb pocket, wider limb stance. That just helps with the stability of this bow at aiming, at shooting, just helps to make it super solid. And of course, something they've done the last couple years is they have their S.E.T technology built in here. S.E.T stands for Simplified Exact Tuning. So there are no yokes. You know, let's say we're shooting this bow and we get a paper tear that we can't clean up through arrow rest movements. Okay, normally what you would do with a bow that has split yokes is you'd start yoke tuning. Well, we don't have that on here, so we need something else. So Elite came up with this simplified exact tuning. It's something you don't need a bow press. All you need is a set of Allen keys. There's a lockdown screw right here. I'm just going to loosen that. And then on this side, there is another Allen screw. And Elite has a sticker right underneath that tells you, depending on which tear you get, which way to turn this Allen screw. You're going to turn it one way for a right tear, one way for a left tear. And what that's doing is actually affecting the whole limb pocket system. So it's achieving the same thing. You are influencing that cam one way or another. You're just doing it by moving the whole limb pocket. And again, you can do that while you're standing on the line. No more going in, running to the bow press to do anything. You can do it right here, you know, make small adjustments, lock it all down, shoot through paper again, get it exactly where you want it. Coming down, this is of course a riser that we have seen, you know, this definitely looks like an Elite riser. You got your dual cages up top and down low here. Just a super rigid, solid riser that Elite has. The grip is similar. I'll say it's similar to Elite grips from the past, but it is a little bit wider at the bottom here. It still tapers down at the front there, but at the bottom, it's just a little wider, nice and flat, super comfortable grip. You can see that angle, you know, for your hand going in. Just a nice, comfortable position for that grip. We should mention up here, we have again, Elite's LTR cable roller. This is LTR linear tunable roller. So you can see I've got these marked lines here. So as I'm doing some of my bow tuning, maybe I want to change the pressure on this cam, or maybe I just need more clearance for fletching. I can move this cable arm left or right to get that positioned exactly where I want it for my fletchings or in my tuning. All right, so coming down the bow, we're gonna see this device right here. This is something new that Elite has come out with this year. This is a vibration dampener. and it really kills the vibration. We shot it with it on and with it off. This thing does a ton to kill vibration, but it's actually part of a whole system that Elite is calling their Delta vibration reduction technology. It's going to include this device right here. You've got dampeners here, you can see these, and of course we've got our limb dampeners as well. And just part of the overall system that Elite has come up with to kill vibration in this bow, and they have done it. Of course, you can always take that device off and make that a lower stabilizer mount. You can see the difference in positions here. That would allow you to use a shorter stabilizer if weight is a consideration. You know, this is a 12-inch bar right here, so you could go with probably a 10-inch bar and get the same distance out in front. Just another option if you wanted to do that. Of course, you got your bushing in the back for a side rod connection if you want to add one there. All right, so the Elite Omnia, the shooting experience. So up front, we wanted to say, you know, we hear from a lot of folks. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate all the support. Here's from some folks who say, you say the same things about the bows every year, that they're the best, that they're the latest, they're the greatest. And truly, you know, I shoot all these bows, so I get to see the differences from year to year. And what I can tell you is these flagship models that come out, the bow companies are making incremental adjustments every year, incremental improvements. And you know, a flagship hunting bow from Elite, that's going to be a great shooting bow. Same with the other manufacturers, they're just not going to turn out a bad shooting bow. Where the differences come in are where it's my preferences. You know, I may have a shooting preference that's different from yours. And that's where some folks may get confused about, oh, this bow is better than that bow. I try to take myself out of it and just give you the information about the bow. So I've shot enough of these bows to know which ones are going to shoot well. And so that's what I'm talking about when I talk about these bows, the shooting experience, that it's comparing this bow. How is the experience shooting this bow? That's what I'm referring to. And so as I mentioned here, well, and I'll tell you, this bow has shot different than any other Elite that I've ever shot. You know, Elite talks about their shootability challenge, that they want to make the most shootable bows. Well, this bow still is very shootable, but yet it shoots different than other Elites. You know, this is a big cam. It's got, you know, super speeds. As I mentioned, this is the fastest Elite bow that I've ever shot. We shot this bow 302 feet per second. That is screaming fast. I have never shot an Elite that shot at that speed with that arrow. So that was super impressive. Now, to get to that speed, you have to do some things different. That's just the way it is. That's engineering. And so the draw cycle on this bow is a bit more aggressive from Elites that I've drawn in the past. Now, that's not a bad thing. It's not to say that, you know, it's hard to get back. What I will say is Elites of the past always, to me, they always felt like they drew lighter than the poundage. If I was drawing 70 pounds, it felt like 60. This feels like a 70-pound bow. It's set at 70 pounds. It feels like I'm drawing 70 pounds. It still draws smoothly. It still has a nice back wall that I can get comfortable in, but it is different. So it is still a shootable bow, but it is screaming fast. 302 feet per second with that 475 grain arrow. That's fast. We did get a 303 off camera. What you're gonna see on camera is 302. But you know, 1 foot per second, it's right in there. Now, at the shot, it still is very much an Elite in that I felt nothing. No vibration, the bow doesn't jump, it just sits in your hand, it's whisper quiet. All those things that we've enjoyed about Elites for years, after the shot, you definitely still feel with the Omnia. Have not changed that part of the shooting experience at all. You can just tell that those arrows are ripping down there fast. And now for tuning this bow, You know, it does have the simplified exact tuning. I didn't have to use it. I took this out of the box. I set up my center shot. You know, I made the arrow sit exactly 13/16 of an inch from the riser. You know, eyed up my up and down to get that vertical position. Went out and paper tuned it. First shot, I got a perfect bullet hole. I mean, there was nothing I would change on that. It was absolutely dead center. So that was just right out of the box. Took me about 5 minutes to get that set up, and it just shoots like a laser. You know, they talk about the aimability of this bow. I definitely did notice that. Come back to full draw, when my pin would settle down, it would just sit there. You know, I like that. Sometimes there's some pin movement. I did not see any pin movement with this bow. So you're getting a bow that draws nice, that holds well at full draw, aims well, shoots screaming fast, and there's no vibration at the back end. I mean, that's the ultimate hunting bow right there. All right, so that is the all-new 2023 Elite Omnia flagship hunting bow from the folks at Elite. This is a great shooting bow, screaming fast. I think folks are gonna love it. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you wanna see more videos like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, don't forget to click that bell to get notifications whenever we put out new videos. And as always, if you have any questions, you can visit us at lancasterarchery.com.